Hello everyone and welcome to the NinjaTrader Ecosystem webinar room. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Juanita Archuleta and I work for the NinjaTrader Ecosystem here in our Denver office. We have a very special event for you today with Mike of MBoxWave Trading. I would like to mention it is important to understand that there are substantial risks in trading commodity futures contracts and Forex. You should carefully consider whether such trading is suitable for you and will depend on your specific circumstances and financial resources. It is possible to lose all funds deposited with your broker and could even incur losses beyond these amounts. Please use the following link to inquire for a full copy of the CFTC risk disclosure or if you have any additional questions. Please also remember that these training webinars are not a solicitation nor a recommendation but simply educational in nature. This presentation is presented by the NinjaTrader LLC, which is the technology company responsible for developing and supporting the NinjaTrader trading software. All brokerage-related questions should be sent directly to our brokerage team using the following email address or phone number. With new tools added nearly every day, NinjaTrader Ecosystem is home to hundreds of apps and services. You can quickly and easily find these tools or services you are looking for with a simple keyword search. You'll also find information about upcoming webinars in an on-demand video archive to view event recordings. Also, if you are active on social media, we highly recommend that you follow us on Twitter and Facebook to get daily live updates of all things NinjaTrader Ecosystem. NinjaTrader is always free for advanced charting, strategy backtesting, and trade simulation. To ensure you are on the latest version of NinjaTrader and to pick up a free live data trial, please use the following link. If you are interested in purchasing or leasing NinjaTrader, please use the following link. And if you're just getting started with NinjaTrader, we offer free live training on a daily basis. You can view a schedule of our weekly webinars using the following link. We are very excited for this unique event in which Mike will identify and supply with authentic order flow tools. Thank you again for everybody's attendance, and without further ado, it is my pleasure to welcome to the NinjaTrader Ecosystem Room, Mike. Go ahead and take it away, Mike.
Hello, everybody. My name is Mike from MBoxWave.com, and I'd like to welcome everybody to the second MBoxWave webinar hosted by NinjaTrader. I'd also like to thank NinjaTrader for giving the opportunity and for hosting this webinar. I did a webinar last year with NinjaTrader. It went very well. There's a recording of it. You guys can watch it. This year, I want to talk about a variety of topics. I want to talk about some new things that I didn't talk about last year. Very often people ask me, Mike, can I use MBoxWave to trade with, stocks or cryptocurrencies or Forex? Because mostly I'm a futures trader and that's what I show, but actually, there's quite a few stock traders using MBoxWave and Forex traders and crypto traders. And one of the things I did this last year is I actually used my tools to trade Intel options. So I'm going to be talking about that. That's on this slide here, how I traded Intel options over the course of the last year. I'm also going to talk about we had, Bitcoin skyrocketing, and I also wanted to talk about how, Tesla bought $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin and that drove prices up. So MBoxWave has grown substantially over the course of the last few years. There's users all over the world. There's about over 2,000 people now using MBoxWave. So I'll go ahead and get right into it. I'm going to go into the first slide called the V-shaped recovery. We had an interesting year. We had the pandemic, the COVID, coronavirus. We had a sell-off in the markets, and then, we had a V-shaped recovery. Markets recovered quite quickly. And so the first thing I want to talk about is, did MBoxWave forecast the economic V-shaped recovery in the markets? Yes. So this is the chart of the S&P 500, the ES futures contract. We're looking at a weekly time frame. Which means each candle on this chart is 1 week. And here at the start of the pandemic, we had a sell-off, a sharp sell-off, prices collapsed, markets collapsed, and then we have this, V-shaped recovery here. And during the process, we had some nice buy signals. We had a pullback, buy signal, and some buy signals here. I'm just going to go into the analysis, bring the chart to life. All right, so we're looking at this chart. For those that are new to MBoxWave, we've got the big number and the small number. The big number is total volume. Small number is delta volume, which means the difference between the buying and the selling. So we see, the buying and selling pressure. Contracts here are in the 10,000s. All right, so we had this sell-off here when the, COVID pandemic started happening, right? Prices collapsed here, right? We saw supply getting hit here in the Mbox Delta, right? And then after that, we see this big blue box here. It's big, it's tall, and it's wide, right? That's the first sign that potentially there is a change in behavior, right? So that is something to pay attention to, right? And what's interesting, if we look at the cumulative delta, right, we see here there's no supply, right? Before the collapse, we see that we had selling, we had buying, and then as prices crashed down right here, where's the selling? Where's the supply? There's no supply. It's really interesting, right? I mean, compared to the selling here and compared to the selling here, and we had such a sharp move down, where's the supply? Makes your head scratch, right? So prices started going back up here. We had a pullback. We had a pullback buy signal here, right? So that's an entry point. We see that, the Mbox Delta is showing demand here. There's no supply here. It's almost all white here. The cumulative buying begins to expand, right? The other thing, the M pace, which shows the speed of the bids and offers. So we had a large speed here and here, but there's a divergence in the fact that if you look at the cumulative delta, we don't see much supply. So we had it's panic selling, it's like a lot of speed to the selling, but no actual supply here. And then after that, these teal green bars up, we see the pace of offers take control, right? So we see this double algo here. We have a plus 447 buy imbalance and a Stooges buy. So the 447, it's blue, which means that we had more buying even though price came down, right? So that's a buy imbalance. So even though the markets and the price were going down, there was more buying. So that was also another clue for the forecast to go up. And if we look at all the analysis here, we had a high probability trade at this point, right? All right, so let's go through a quick intro here. What is MBoxWave? The motto that, I recommend people to have in their head when they're trading is, trade what you see, not what you think. Take the emotions out of it, stop, feeling the fear, the greed, all those things, because those just mess you up, right? The goal here is to look at the analysis and let the analysis show you what to do, right? So I wrote here a quote, trade without fear or greed, trade only what you see without the emotions. MBoxWave allows you to do rational decision making. Rely on the analysis, stop overthinking, let the market tell you what it wants to do next. Then and only then take a trade. What that means is, look at the analysis. If you see a strong setup, take the trade. If you don't see a strong setup, don't take the trade. This is what I show in my live trade videos. This is what I show people what to do. Take the emotions out of it. Just look at the technical analysis. All right, I'd like to at this point mention at the end of the presentation, I will provide a discount code, all right, for the MBoxWave grandfather package and the trading room, all right? And trading room, I'm going to go over at the end of the presentation. That's something that I added last year. And that's to bring the community of traders together. Okay, who am I? Really quick. Used to work at Silicon Valley as senior software engineer, worked at companies like Sun and Oracle. I am the sole creator, developer, and active trader of the MBoxWave Wyckoff trading system. So unlike many other vendors out there that just want to sell you some software, right, that they don't actually use their own programs, right? I use my own system. I developed it, and that's what I'm offering you guys as well. So I actively trade it. I have my own skin in the game, which I show in the live trade videos. Trading community knows me as Mbox Mike. All right, what is MBoxWave? It's a complete order flow trading system that tracks buying and selling. That's exactly what it does. It exposes optimal entry points via algorithmic buy and sell signals. All right, so that's what we see here, the pullback and the stooges, buy and balance. Those are entry points. MBoxWave is an entire community of traders. It's not just a set of indicators anymore. It's actually an entire community, and that's one of the goals here that I've tried to do, is to bring the community of traders together. So what is the goal? The goal is to provide the best possible trading technical analysis software that exposes market flow, supply and demand, and to bring the entire community of Mbox traders together inside the trading room. All right, I'll talk about that towards the end. All right, going to jump into the next slide. I'm going to go over a few examples here. I'm going to talk about demand exhaustion here. Demand exhaustion, what is it? Demand exhaustion is when the market is overbought and the demand is and buying is thinning out. So here we're looking at the ES 1 minute chart, right? And at the market open 9:30 here, we see that the Mbox Delta here is showing initial demand on the market open, right? You see quite a bit of demand here. Market's price moves up. The wave demand plus 506, we're seeing demand. But when we make a higher high here, what's really, scratches your head is that we're making a higher high and we've got, less demand. We've got plus 315. So compare 506 to plus 315. We're making higher highs, but there's less buying. We also see it in the Mbox Delta, right? We go from, quite a bit of demand here. Demand drops. We're making a higher high. So that's a divergence, right? Then the next wave, by the time we make the next wave, we have 85. So that's a huge drop from 315. So that shows no demand. Plus, if you look in the Mbox Delta, we see that the demand decreased. So we went from demand to less to practically no demand, right? And what happens, right? In the meantime, we see Mbox supply comes in here in this box right here. We see the cumulative buying drops at the time the initial supply comes in. And then right here, we have a double algorithm, right? We have a pullback sell and a stooges sell and a no demand, right? So at this point, when price breaks down, right, here's the optimal entrance point to initiate a short. These lines here, the green ones, the red ones, they're being drawn by the M auto floor ceiling indicator, which is included part of the MBoxWave system. They draw support and resistance lines, and they can also be used as breakout, breakdown lines. So using that, seeing this strong setup, we see demand has been diminished. We see supply come in, cross over to cumulative selling here. We see that the speed of bids are outpacing the offers. Bam, that's our trade. Okay, so even if you didn't get in here, you still have opportunity to get in here, right? We also, probably somebody is thinking, what about this upthrust? We had an upthrust sell signal. It is a valid sell signal. It's not the optimal entrance point, in my opinion. The optimal entrance point is here, because at the upthrust, it depends on your risk tolerance. We don't have as many points of confluence like I talk in my live trade videos, because at this upthrust, we didn't see the supply yet. When we saw this double algo here, we saw the supply come in. We saw the cumulative buy and drop. We saw the pace of bids coming in, outpacing the offers. So that's why, the way I trade, I like to find more points of confluence. So price breaks down, we go down. Okay, we're hitting down here, and where's the exit? I always talk about there's three strategies that I use. Either you hit a previous support resistance line, that's where you exit, or you hit your goal, right? If you hit your goal for the day, you're done, right? So here we had a substantial price drop. If you even take 37.70, right? We had a drop of, over 30 points, so that's a substantial amount of money. If you hit your daily goal, you're done, okay? Or, if you're letting it run, let it ride, you'll see that as we're reaching these lows here, we have a buy imbalance here and a buy imbalance here. So if you didn't get out of the trade, these are good areas to get out because price is moving down, but there's more buying, so that's a safe exit. Also in the cumulative delta here, it drops and we see that, the supply is drying out. So, I've done this many times in my live trade videos. If you watch them, you'll see me also exit on technical analysis or support and resistance levels. All right, so let's move on to the next slide. All right, I got a question here. How do you know it is supply or is it a demand just based on the trade data? Well, we're looking at the indicators, right? Above the zero line here, that's demand. Below is supply. The same for here. And the numbers, if they're negative, that's supply. If they're positive in blue, that's demand. All right, so the triple algo, what is the triple algo? We're looking at this, right? We have a pullback sell, a Stooges sell, and a minus 73 sell imbalance. The triple algo, what is it? It's a powerful signal. When it happens before the market open, it often forecasts the direction price will go. I've observed this many times. Other people have observed this many times. I have traded the triple algo before. You can see it in my live trade videos. So let's talk about what happened. So before the markets open, we had the triple algo, right? And we see that there is a lot of selling going on, right? If we count, these waves, so 9:30, here's where the market opened, right? Around this up thrust here. So before that happens, look at these waves. So look at these minus 29, minus 39, minus 104, minus 73, all this selling. All this selling. This is the only, plus 87, the only place where we see buying, right? So how many waves we have of selling before, this signal here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 waves out of 8 are showing all selling, all right? We see that in the cumulative delta, we see distribution before the sell-off, all right, before the price moves down, all right? We see that there's really not much demand here, right? So the market's open. We see that in the Mbox delta, we see supply coming in. Cumulative selling is expanding. So no demand, little bump here. Huge pace of bids, right? We have a double algorithm, up thrust plus a minus 161 sell imbalance, which means there was more selling than buying on this move up. And here we have a short on the breakdown, then an add-on, bam, price collapses, right? We went from about 12,930 to, well, below 12,870. So that's 60 points, right? That's huge gains, even on one contract that's a couple $1,000. All right. So if you were going, you were going for your daily goal, $500, $1,000, you would have hit it. All right. Or you could write it down until you see a change in technical analysis, right? So as we come down here, we see something going on here. We see that there's a sign of offers with the pace of offers. We see something going on here. So that's a safe exit, right? So if you entered here or you entered here, you did an add-on, you wrote it down, you see that there's could be some offers, some demand coming in, take the profits. That was a very good trading day. All right, let's move on. And I'm going to talk about options. All right. So as you know, mostly I'm a futures trader, because that's what I do, but I did decide to get into, trading options, and I, did quite a few this past year, and I did pretty well. I want to talk about how I traded Intel options. We had so I'm being asked, Mike, do you only trade off 1 minute or longer time frames give you stronger signals? Well, I'm going to talk about the Intel options. I'm looking at a daily time frame here. All right, so this is not a 1 minute. So it's a daily time frame. So after the COVID sell-off, we had a huge buy imbalance plus 3,425 that launched Intel stock into a rally. So price came crashing down here. This is the pandemic, right? The panic selling. And then we had this huge buy imbalance, which means that even though price was moving down, there was more buying going on, all right? So that was the first clue that maybe something's going on. All right. Maybe this is the end of the down move. All right. So I'm going to start at the beginning of the chart. Before this pandemic, we had a cluster of buy signals, price shot up, right? You could have traded that, made some money there. I didn't trade it myself, but I traded the reversal here after the huge sell-off. All right. So price came down. We had a sell imbalance. All right. And price continued moving down. Right. And what's really interesting is as we came down, we see there's no supply. Look at the Mbox delta here, right? It's just we're being hit here. Okay, look at this supply, this supply, this supply. And we're making lower lows and all the supply is gone in the Mbox delta. Where is it? I mean, look at the buying here. Look at the buying here. These red boxes don't even compare to the demand here and the demand here. It's like, where's the supply? Right? It looks like this move is fabricated, right? Check the M cumulative delta. It looks really weak. We had a lot of buying here and, for the amount, the price, I mean, it moved down substantially from here to here. It just didn't look like much. All right. So at the buy imbalance, right before that, we had a strong pace of offers here. That was the first clue. That was the first clue that we had that stops this downtrend. And then I saw the buy imbalance. So I saw the pace of offers, the buy imbalance. I saw the no supply in the Mbox delta. I saw the weak supply in the cumulative delta, right? I saw some demand come in here, all right? It wasn't huge, but it looked supply was exhausted, and I saw the buy imbalance. And I saw the cumulative buying expanding. So I bought call options here, all right? And my initial take profit was this previous level of resistance. That was my initial take profit, right? But I'm always watching the technical analysis of the indicators to know where to exit. All right. So we went up here, saw the sell imbalance. I thought, okay, I made good profits. Demand here in the Mbox delta dropped. We see a contraction in the cumulative buying. Also, the pace of the offers also looked weak. So I decided to call it quits, took the profit, exited the trade. All right. All right, let me answer this question. Mike, how do you know that the indicator signal won't change in the next bar? The waves and the signals are drawn with the wave. Okay, I'm using the Gann swing here. So Gann swing wave confirms when you have two higher highs, two lower lows. I've shown this in my live trade videos. If you have a question, you can email me about it. All right. It looks like I have to get on here. I also traded Intel options later. I don't think I'll do a full explanation of this slide because I want to make sure I have time for everything else. But in short, towards the end of last year, end of October, there was bad news about Intel's performance, right? It caused the stock to collapse. And here's the thing, Intel performed worse than expected. However, the PC sector had growth. So that's kind of weird. So we had some good news, some bad news. We had a huge gap down here, right? And then, price kind of wavered on here. And, we had this buy imbalance, right? It's like same thing that was happening, with the COVID pandemic. We had a buy imbalance, supply evaporates. Here, the supply looks weak compared to the demand we previously had, right? We had a pace of bids here, but we just don't see the supply. Here, we had a sell imbalance and a stooge sell, but that gets taken out here. And this is where I bought the call options. It gets taken out here, which means that it failed. This became a failed stooges, failed sell imbalance. So, it looked bullish to me, right? It looked like this was panic selling. And we began to see demand. We saw a buy imbalance. So to me, it seemed that, it has to correct, that it was just bad news. And you can do this often, watch news. If you see a huge change in a stock, but the indicators show you that there's really not much strength to it. You can get some options. All right. Some time passed. We came down here. We corrected. All right. I gotta kind of hurry up here to manage my time. We corrected here. So the good thing about options, I took a 3 months, expiration, so I had time. This showed effort, no result. Just quickly, minus 17,000 compared to minus 8,000. Look how much we moved here on minus 17,000 compared to here on minus 8,000. So it spent a lot more work, achieved less result. So I decided when we price started going back up, I got some more call options. My initial take profit line was here. I exited on the open of gap up day here. All right. Why did I pick Intel options to trade? Why not Tesla? Actually, I traded a few stocks, so Intel wasn't the only one. All right. Well, I was tracking a few of them. All right. Let's move on. Another question, could you explain MPace as it's a concept? It's on my website. If you email me, I could send you a link, but it's on my website. Can I use Unirenko bar type? Yes, you can. There are quite a few traders using Unirenko. Why don't you use TradeStation? I support TradeStation. That's another question here. I support TradeStation. But we're using NinjaTrader here for the webinar. All right, let's go to Elon Musk Bitcoin pump. All right, so this is interesting, right? On February 8th, Tesla bought $1.5 billion in Bitcoin. What does MBoxWave have to say about the Elon Musk Bitcoin pump? All right, so right before Elon Musk, Tesla bought the Bitcoin, we had initial Mbox demand. Musk was starting to tweet about Bitcoin, and that was starting to affect price, right? So we had this initial demand, right? We had a Stooges and a pullback buy signal here, at a no supply here. This is actually where the buying happened. So when Tesla bought 1.5 billion, price shot up, bam, here, okay? So realistically speaking, unless you're watching carefully, probably you wouldn't have gotten in here, right? If you were just tracking what Elon Musk was doing, you wouldn't have known about this, right? So if you watch what he did, the $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin, price shot up, we had a correction, right? What's interesting, we had, again, a buy imbalance, Stooges signal, means there's more buying than selling on this down wave. We have this huge demand here. We have a triple Mbox buy imbalance and the Mbox delta. Look at this, the red bar here, the red box here, red box here, red box here. The red box is because price moved down. If you look at these red boxes, price moved down, but there was more buying. That's why it's above zero. All right. So on this down wave, there's nothing but buying. All right. Getting questions, scalping with 30-second bar type. This is 30 minutes. Right. This is not 30 seconds. Cumulative buying is expanding, huge pace of offers. Okay, if you're day trading this or swing trading it, you can get in here, you write it out, bam, we're reaching the highs here. We see that demand drops here, we can get out. Now, for the long term, Bitcoin's still going up. It went up to $56,000, $57,000. But here is a, example, if you're day trading, swing trading, this is what the analysis shows, that's the plausible exit, right? And as you see here, there's nothing but buying on our way up, plus 224, plus 223, plus 37, plus 59, plus 24. But as we're making these higher highs, look, there's less demand, right? We went from 224, 37, 24. It's contraction, right? So I saw this here, this box here as ease of movement, meaning we had all this buying here. We didn't need that much buying. This was like accumulation. We didn't need that much buying for price to go up. So this was ease of movement. Didn't require much effort. Is your software available for NT8? Yes, absolutely. I am showing NT8 platform right here. All right. So we're exiting here at the higher highs. Where there's no demand here, and, we're contracting in the cumulative delta. What means stooges? What does stooges mean? Well, it's an algorithm that fires off. It means that, supply is exhausting. It's on the website. You can email me. All right. It's on the website and the signals. I'll show that a little bit later. All right. So what I want to show here is that, regardless of the market, supply and demand is economics. It's always at work. That's what drives financial markets, buying and selling, supply and demand. All right. So let's talk about the next slide. So training and education. So this is the most important part because, what do you do? How do you use the software? How do you learn more about it, right? Getting started. So if you go to MBoxWave.com, the site is like a book, all right? And I update it regularly. If you read each page, all the indicators, all the algorithmic buy-sell signals, example strategies are explained. All right, so let's go on the site and let me navigate through it and, show a little bit. All right, so when you log on to my site, I want to mention some of the first things here. You can sign up for the free MBoxWave newsletter trade of the day. All right. You'll get an email when I do a video or when I have something that I post or information about a webinar, or if I do a major update for the software, you'll find out about it here. All right. Also, you can follow me on Twitter. You can follow me on YouTube. Okay. So if you, click on this button, you load my Twitter page, right? So this is what where I talk about, everything that's going on, all the live videos. Here was a person wrote me an email that, their average win per trade doubled. They're really happy with the software. So, if you subscribe to Twitter, that's as good as getting the emails. I post everything on Twitter as well, right? Live trade videos. Live trade videos is a very important aspect here. This is, a large part of the training, right? A large part of the training. And I have over 60, live trade videos of me trading in real time, showing exactly how the indicators draw, how to trade in real time. People write comments, about, feedback, and you can read those comments when you click on the videos. All right, so I want to talk about, indicators. All the indicators, they're explained here. Wave indicators, Gann swing, people ask, how do the waves draw? Well, you click on this page, here it is. 2 bars, higher highs, starts an upswing. 2 bars with lower lows, starts a downswing. All right, that's how it works. MPace, somebody had a question about MPace. And go to the MPace page, right? That's where it is. You can read about the indicator here, okay? And I've also got examples. I've got, information, how to read the analysis and so forth. All right, want to talk about the signals, right? Somebody asked, what is the stooges? Stooges, we've got stooges, effort, result pullback, springs, upthrusts, right? If you click on the signals, they're all explained, right? So if you click on the stooges signal page, you'll see, what is a buy signal? What is a sell, right? It's a hashtag. If it's in brackets, means it's in a trend, right? So it means that, there is, supply or demand is decreasing, right? So you can get the full explanation. You can get the full explanation of how the signals are work on these signal pages, right? I'd also like to, talk about some of the other videos. So besides the live trade videos, I've got the webinars. All right, so this webinar is from last year. You guys can watch it. There's, additional information, different topics I talked about, also with NinjaTrader. This webinar here, how to trade order flow, Delta, volume Wyckoff. Matt Bowen did this webinar. It's an excellent webinar. You can watch the Wyckoff webinar, trading pullbacks with MBoxWave. You can watch this webinar, WiseWave versus MBoxWave, what's the difference? Well, the difference is WiseWave doesn't have delta volume, so you don't see the buying and selling pressure. All right. Also got, installation videos. So here, watch this video, how to use NinjaTrader for free and the MBoxWave setup. All right. All right, let's go back to the slides. Training and education. There's over 100 hours of educational content on the training and education page. All right, so, let's go to the training and education page here. All right, I explain who I am. I talk about the training course. All right, I go through the steps, how to get started, subscribe to the Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. I already talked about it. If you subscribe to the Facebook, it's the same as a Twitter. I post everything is the same on Facebook as it is on the Twitter page. All right, subscribe to the YouTube channel, sign up for the newsletter. If you watch the webinar from last year, it's more of an introductory webinar. All right, cover the basics, read about the basic laws of supply and demand, some Wyckofian logic, important concepts. Again, all the indicators, all the signals. We've got some example strategies here. Fatty momentum, buy-sell imbalances, right? These are some strategies, sample strategies I talk about and give examples how to use. This is a momentum-based strategy. This is a buy-sell imbalance, when you have buy and sell imbalances strategy. So all this is free. It's on the, training education page, watch the webinars, watch the live trade videos. That's a huge resource. Right? Watch the videos, huge resource for learning, educational content. Watch how I trade live. Watch how the indicators work in real time. I have my own skin in the game and I show exactly how it works. So ongoing education, I update my content regularly, and homework. Some people say, what do I got to do, Mike? What's the right way to practice? Well, part of it is homework, right? Mark up charts, mark up your charts. That way you can scan a chart and understand what's going on, okay? And the other resource, to use, right? I want to talk about the trading room, all right? So like I said, we got Facebook, Twitter, everything. Join the MBoxWave trading room, all right? One thing I'd like to emphasize, I'm a big believer in repetition is the mother of all teaching. If you practice, you will get better. That is the best way to learn. That's helped people become successful. That's how I become successful, all right, in my own trading that I've shown in my own live trade videos. All right, so the MBoxWave trading room, what is it? Be a part of the MBoxWave community by joining the MBoxWave trading room. It's available to all MBoxWave grandfather package users. It brings the entire, community of MBoxWave traders together. What you do, you chat, discuss analysis, share screenshots, gain experience from other traders. It's an additional resource. It's an additional resource to get support while you're in the process of learning how to trade. Be active, ask questions, interact with other traders. It's a rich mix of both experienced and new traders. So I'm getting a question, Mike, I was in the trading room as a guest a few times in December. There wasn't much focus on MBoxWave, just moving averages and breakouts. That's not my room. That's the no BS. That's the no BS trading room. That's not the MBoxWave trading room. Now the no BS trading room, sometimes they use the MBoxWave indicators, but that's not my room. So that doesn't apply here. All right, to learn more, check out the page. So, people ask me, okay, Mike, are you going to give signals when to buy, when to sell? No, I'm not going to give you signals when to buy, when to sell. I don't want to assume financial responsibility for other people's trading. That's not the goal here. That's not the point. The point is, for people to become independent and self-reliant and be able to trade on their own, to become self-sufficient. All right. And that's the goal of the room, right? For people to learn how to trade. If you want to know exactly how the room works, I'm going to talk about that, and I'll show you where you can read about it. So you go back to my page. If you click on the purchase page, and I'll get into the promotion shortly. Click on the purchase page, click on find out about the MBoxWave trading room. The MBoxWave trading room, here's the page. Here's information about the room, overview of the room. This is exactly what you can expect from the room. All right. It brings the community together. Some people share, their trades, their screenshots. Some people share, record their live trades. Some users have done that, and share them with others. So it's a community, right? Ask questions, be active, interact with other traders, right? The whole point is so that you don't feel like you're alone in this whole thing, that you have a support system, other people to talk to that are using the same indicator set, right? So it's an additional resource. So I'm getting a question here. How many people are in the room on a daily basis? There's a few hundred. I don't know if I can answer all these questions here. Does MBoxWave have special data requirements? I'm going to talk about this. Okay, I'll talk about this in a second. I want to go through the discount code because we don't have much time left. So discount is only good for 24 hours. It's the grandfather package plus the MBoxWave trading room. All right. So what do you get, right? So normal price is $13.98. You get the MBoxWave trading room. You get all the indicators. You get all the algorithmic buy-sell signals. You get the grandfather status, which means lifetime support, updates, and fixes. Okay, over the course of time, I have added, features, indicators, signals. It's a live product, right? And as I fine-tune my trading, I also add things. So let's see what the offer is. So let's open up. So to get the offer, go to mboxwave.com/offer. All right. So here it is, the March 2021 webinar discount, good for 24 hours. Grandfather package plus the MBoxWave trading room. Regular price is $13.98. Discount is $12.98. Right. So you can use this link to get the offer. All right. Got a question. With this code, can I use the system for all platforms? Not sure what you mean with this code. The discount code is on the grandfather package plus MBoxWave trading room. Just email me if you have questions. My email address is mike@mboxwave.com here, or you can contact me via the contact form. Now, really quickly, before I have about a minute left, I want to talk about the data, since I am asked about this time to time. Let's show it. So what you want to have is here, historical tick data, okay? That's what you want to have to show the native delta volume, right? To show the buy and selling pressure. Now, you can still see it without having the historical tick data, but if you want to have the most accurate representation, you would want to have the historical tick data. All right. And, you look, kinetic, yes. Bar chart, yes. Continuum, yes. CKG, yes. All these, yes, 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 yes. So continuum, this is the NinjaTrader data feed you get. If you have the NinjaTrader brokerage, it's a perfectly good data feed. It's got historical tick data. It works great. All right. So here you see if it says yes, you will get, native delta volume. All right. So we've got the rhythmic TD. Okay. TD Ameritrade is no. You can still use it, but you won't have the native delta volume. Is level 2 data required? Level 1 data is required. All right. Level 2 data isn't required. Level 1 data is basically historical tick data. Someone's asking, I bought Mbox several months ago, but wasn't aware of your trader room. How can I get access? Just email me. I'll add you to the room. All right. So I think we are running out of time. If you have questions, just email me. Okay, there's one more question. Will level 2 have any benefit with Mbox? No, MBoxWave does not read level 2 data. All right, so we're running out of time. Here's the discount. I hope you guys enjoyed this webinar. You're always free to email me, okay, or via email or the contact form. I'm usually very quick to respond. All right, and that's about it. There's one last question. License is valid only for one platform. Can I use your system for multiple platforms? It's valid for one platform. There is an option, an add-on option to be able to switch between platforms. You can email me about it, okay? But when you buy it, you get access to one platform. Anyway, that's it. So thanks everybody for attending the webinar. And I'm gonna hand it back to NinjaTrader. Thanks, and everybody, good luck. Bye-bye.
I would like to give a special thank you to Mike of MBoxWave Trading for a great presentation today. NinjaTrader Ecosystem is pleased to sponsor these weekly vendor events as a value-added service for our clients. If you find value in these events, we hope that you'll attend them on a regular basis. We'd like to remind you the information provided in this was that of MBoxWave Trading and not of NinjaTraders. All information was for educational purposes and should not be construed as trading advice. Again, we do appreciate the time you spend with us. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we hope to see you in future webinars. Happy trading from everybody here at the NinjaTrader ecosystem. Thank you again, Mike. Have a great day.